Hey, quick question for you. If you have more choice when it comes time to make a decision, does that make that decision easier or harder for you to make? Well, we would all like to think it makes it easier because who doesn't want everything all laid out for them so that they can make the right decision, right? Wrong. It has been studied and proven over and over and over again that the more choice we have when it comes time to make a decision, the harder it is to make a decision and the least likely we are to even act on whatever it is we have the choices of. That's all there is to it. I guess we can end the video there. Nah, we're not gonna though. In 2000, Sheena Yengar and Mark Lepper from Columbia and Stanford universities did a study. And this study has been replicated hundreds of times all over the country, and the results were all the same. But what they did is they got a table, and they put a table up at like a farmer's market or a grocery store type setting, and they put jams, homemade jams, on the table, 6 of them to start. And when the place opened, people came over and they talked to them all about the jams, and some sampled them, and some people bought the jams. So when the day was done and they analyzed everything, they knew how many people had come, and they knew how many people had bought. And it turned out that 1/3, so like 33% of the people that came and talked to them about the jams or sampled ended up buying one at the end. Okay, so there's the baseline. The next week, they went to the same setting with the same table and the same jams. But instead of only having 6 to choose from, they had 24 on the table. And it was mind-blowing what happened. 4 times as many people came to that table with interest and tried the jams and talked to them about the jams and sampled multiple. And when they were doing the numbers on how many bought, 3%. Only 3% bought. That is called choice overload. This is the choice overload paradox. The more choices we are given, the less likely we are to react. Simple. Over and over and over again. You need another example? Come on over to my house and I'll tell you about a question that throws choice overload into our daily life every day. Almost every day. And it doesn't matter who's asking the question, and it doesn't matter who's answering the question. But the question is, what do you want to do for dinner? I don't know. I don't care. There it is. There's your choice overload. You have officially asked somebody to make a decision and gave 0 options, which means you've given them all the options. You can't tell me this hasn't happened to you before. When you have to make a decision, a big one or a small one, you actually go through a process, or you should go through a process. To make a smart decision, you should go through a process. And that process should start with gathering your information. And then the second step is exactly what we're talking about right now. It's narrowing your choices. You have to narrow your choices if you're going to make a smart decision. That goes for dinner or paint colors on your house or what car to buy, what job to take, any of them. You go through this process. You have to narrow it down. So take all your options and start crossing some off the list. You know you don't need all these options on here. Get them out of there. It's like saying, "Hey, let's go to dinner tonight. We can go for burgers or we can go for tacos." And then the other person being like, "Yeah, all right, I'm in." There you go, get all your stuff, get in the car, you're pulling out, and you'd be like, "All right, so where do you want to go for burgers?" And he's like, "Well, I, I want tacos." Of course you do. You won't cross off the wrong thing because you won't know how you feel about a decision until it's made. When you start eliminating these things off the list, you'll get a feeling. It's your gut feeling. As soon as you cross one off the list, the decision's been made. If you get a bad gut feeling about it, just put it back on the list and eliminate another one. Not a big deal. But you have to eliminate. You have to get rid of some of these options. Having more options is not good. You only need the options you need. Everything else is just throwing you right into this choice overload paradox. You participate in this every day and don't even realize it. So leave me a comment down below. Tell me the last time you were a victim of this choice paradox and when it was. I would be interested to see if it was today, because it could have been. Something you can do for me if you got any enjoyment out of this, please hit the like and subscribe button. That greatly helps me out. It helps this video get out to other people. Maybe you know somebody who's struggling with a decision and they need to see this. Share it with them. Send them a link. Or hit that like button and maybe it'll show up in their feed. And then they can make the decision they need to make. Either way, I appreciate you spending some time with me today. I had a good time talking about this. My name is Tim, and I'm glad you met me.